Hey YouTube, this is Nashtaters. Welcome back to another episode of War of the Visions. Today we're going to be talking about the white Flan raid that will be hitting us early in the morning on Wednesday morning. Now, here's the thing. Wednesdays are turning out to be happy Wednesdays because they're giving us news, they're giving us free items, and tomorrow is not going to be any exception. There are going to be a couple of things to the raid that I want to talk about, and perhaps also review a few strategies I feel like it's pretty much collective knowledge now at this point. So without further ado, let's get into it. As you can see, the white Flan raid is going to be weak to dark element slash attacks, dark element strike attacks. So that means there are going to be several units that are going to be very highlighted in this raid. Shadow Lynx, Gafgarion, Venera, Ziza. So if you have those units built, you're going to probably have a little bit easier time dealing with this raid. Your main superstar is most likely going to be Shadow Lynx for this raid. A couple of things I think folks should keep in mind though. Sukuchi, which is the move and jump +1, might not be employed here. For the reason that if she has a longer distance to move, and she can move that far and that fast, your other harder hitting units such as Stern and Gafgarion may not be able to catch up. And therefore, even if Shadow Lynx can start chaining using her dream within a dream move, it might be broken at that point. So ideally, I feel like you should make sure getting your Agi in the right sequence. So for example, if there's 2 Shadow Lynx on your team during multi, perhaps they can all have, say, one agility after another, and then for your 2 harder hitting units, if people are bringing those, try to get their Agi up as closely as possible to the Shadow Lynxes. Therefore, when the Shadow Lynx starts to chain, the harder hitting units can go in subsequently and start doing their moves as well without interrupting the chain. In terms of utilizing your dark units as ninjas, just bear in mind that sure you can have no element, and Anton is a dark element, but it lacks the slash subcategory. So if you're thinking about using those skills manually, just bear in mind that you're not going to be able to chain. Therefore, you're going to be doing a lot less damage. And generally speaking, the AI tends to favor those skills as well. So especially in the early stages where it doesn't really matter a whole lot, it's not a big deal. But during the later stages, I would recommend using manual because you don't want to try to break your own chains. Another strategy I would recommend using, especially during multi, is to bring a thief. Now, Ziza has that ability to become a thief, and her best skill that you perhaps can use would be Steal Time. If your other unit is going to be doing the damage and Ziza is not, then using Steal Time can delay the white Flan boss from moving. Therefore, you can do more damage and continuing your chain. Other options clearly you can use could be any thief that you currently already built. For me, I have Zan. Chances are I'll probably bring him. I'm going to show you some pics from the Japanese raid when it was released. The first thing we want to really emphasize is that they did a little small campaign in which, based on the number of kills of the white Flan, the general community will be receiving free Visiors or gems. And as you can see, the chart says once you reach 10 million, you can get 2,000 gems. I believe these are actually cumulative. So that's something to really think about in terms of inspiration for the community to participate. I actually hope they do bring this because that's going to give us a little bit extra bonus incentive on top of all those other free gems that we're receiving. In terms of shop items, when you're trying to exchange your medals, 3 things are going to be key. First off is going to be the Rainbow Fragment of Thoughts. Looks like in the Japanese version they receive 2. The Rainbow Sphere they receive 3. And of course you can have access to lots of recipes in terms of building your specific equipment. And speaking of equipment, this is going to be the one that we're going to be receiving. It is called Platinum Rope. and it has 3 subcategories of Barrier, Vital, and Shield. Now the bonus category when you plus the equipment is going to be Missile Resistance. So that's something I don't think I believe we have yet on global. So that's going to be a nice addition to our collection. And maybe a little too late, unless of course they change the arena maps, but that we could have used this thing maybe a couple of weeks ago, right? But in the future, if gunners are still going to be a crucial part of the engagements, we can at least have something to kind of sort of negate some of their damage using this rope. Personally, I don't think I'm going to be going for +5, but I would try to get as many as possible because I do enjoy defense effects such as defense, spirit, different attack resistances. Those are more of statistics that I like to personally go after. During the Japanese campaign of the White Flan raid, they actually had feature units, which was Whisper and Shadowlings. So I'm personally hoping we get that banner for this week because, well, I'm really looking to get Whisper. And I think people can actually solidify their builds in terms of maximizing their Shadowlings if you haven't. Alright, now from my final thoughts. I feel like this raid, given the fact that they're giving us potentially more rewards, right? More gems, perhaps a banner that's going to really supplement this specific raid. And on top of it, the recipe looks very solid. And the fact that during the last raid, there were 2 solid strategies people were employing. The Mariana magic attack strategy or the Lucia shoot you from a distance strategy. And perhaps many of us didn't have Lucia, but some of us had Mariana, so you had to kind of pick between the strategies. This one, fortunately, most of us, if not all of us, will have dark slashing units. So therefore, I think it's going to be more fun in terms of engagement with the entire community. And I think there'll be less pickiness in terms of, people creating rooms and asking specifics because everyone's going to be bringing dark slashing units. So I, for once, am really happy for that. And 2, if you are going to go really hardcore, try to get the +5 platinum robe, just try to, keep a set pace. Don't try to do too hard on one day and etc. And just really pace yourself and not burn out. For those of you who are not, well, take your time and just enjoy the raid as much as possible. I think that's all the time I have for this video. I wish you luck if you do summon for any of the units that they're going to feature on the banner. And just remember, have fun. And as always, take care of yourself and your loved ones. Nashtaters out.